EGX is hosting Sonic Frontiers, and finally some of the biggest Sonic tubers have the opportunity to give their insights and feedback on the game, to at least give most Sonic fans a really good idea of what they should expect when going into Sonic Frontiers. And I have compiled most of their viewpoints since they have a little bit of a good idea of what they're looking for, so hopefully we can get answers to some of your burning questions, like how does the game control? Will Sonic be fast enough? Is the cyberspace stage worth your time? And most of all, will Sonic Frontiers be an enjoyable experience? Alright, let's break down what you need to know. Starting off with Premydaremy's description of its playthrough, which if you're curious about the full insight, you can check out this video right after this one. Right off the bat, if you're coming from a modern boost title like Generations or Forces, the controls in general are going to feel a bit wonky. Now Premy notes that this isn't necessarily a bad thing, and the ability to tweak the controls to just about your liking is definitely a plus. But it seems that no matter what state you're in within the fan base, old, new, or in between, it's going to take some time to get used to the controls. So this is a big thing to keep in mind, but more on that in a bit. However, just because the boost isn't the same as it was before, it doesn't mean that Sonic won't be as fast, at least in the overworld. Sonic's speed is definitely rewarded when it comes to gathering enough rings, as based on this footage, Sonic is really zooming with this so-called infinite boost ability, which by the way, if you didn't notice yet, it is a direct nod to the Sonic movie, shot for shot, even with his glowing blue eyes. So if you're a fan of the franchise, you will be getting plenty of fan service in Sonic Frontiers, whether it be in the form of his animations like this, interactions with other characters like Big the Cat, which they literally did put Big's fishing adventure, but most of all, you are getting an homage to Sonic's past zones, which fortunately, as Premy reports, the graphics in these stages do look very well done, even if they did reuse some of the assets. But unfortunately, this is where we get into some of the bad news, depending on your lens. The cyberspace stages are a bit more generic, at least the beginning ones in this zone, but like I said earlier, if you're coming off the boost titles, it's going to feel, as Premy puts it, like booty, but not Force's level of booty. And again, this is going off the biasness of a Sonic fan, but if you're like me and have never played a modern Sonic game in their entire life, you probably wouldn't know the difference. But the lack of customizability for the controls in this cyberspace stage is definitely a bit of a downgrade, especially since Azuka has noted that this is one of the best parts of the game. Maybe this aspect is due to the game catering towards more of a general audience, who are just looking to pick up a Sonic title. Considering that Frontiers was awarded during TGS by the Japanese audience, it does show a renewed curiosity with this demographic, which can be a good thing. Not to mention that the combat introduced in the game is more digestible to newcomers. As Premy puts it, although the setting was changed to hard mode, he was still able to easily engage with certain bosses. So we don't know if this is a lack of challenge due to this being a tutorial area, or if Sonic Frontiers is introducing a beat 'em up style similar to Bayonetta, where it can be said that it's easy to button mash, but there's more skill associated with earning a higher combat rank. Again, not necessarily a bad thing, and personally I am good with this kind of approach, as Sega doesn't appear to want to alienate an audience. Overall, the general consensus, based on this early demo, is that Sonic Frontiers is enough of an enjoyable experience to continue being curious about the game, and what to expect for the future. We are seeing a level of fan service and innovation by Sega, where we do get a lot of customizability for the most part, and we do get nods to other aspects in the Sonic franchise, even going as far as utilizing the drop dash in a time trial based puzzle. It is definitely nice to see details like this in the overworld. Chef's kiss. And of course, as with any TGS Sonic demo, things are always able to change and improve, for better or for worse. I'm looking at you, Sonic 06. But anyways, subscribe to the channel to keep up with all this momentum. It only takes about 2 seconds for this absolutely free content, and you could always change your mind later. Mr. Bane out.